Welcome to the Commander Jason Top 10 series. In each episode, I'll rank a subset of Magic cards, and I'll discuss why I gave them the rank that I did. In this episode, I'll rank my top 10 mana-producing artifacts for Commander. These are affectionately known as Mana Rocks. Remember, I play for fun, so these will not necessarily be the most powerful mana artifacts. For example, I will not include the Moxes. Let's jump straight in. At number 10, Darksteel Ingot. This guy costs 3 mana and can tap for any color of mana. The reason it makes the list is because it is indestructible. I'm not concerned that it will be targeted by removal. Removal is generally saved for more dangerous artifacts, but indestructible stops it from becoming collateral damage from mass removal spells. At number 9, a tie between Thought Vessel and Decanter of Endless Water. Thought Vessel costs 2 and taps for colorless. Decanter of Endless Water costs 3 and taps for any color. They both say that you have no hand size, and that's why they make the list. I would probably run Thought Vessel in a 1 or 2 color deck, while I would run Decanter in a deck of 3 colors or more. Of course, if you really need to have no hand size, run both of them. At number 8, another tie, this one between Everflowing Chalice and Astral Cornucopia. Everflowing Chalice costs 0 with the multi-kicker of 2, produces colorless mana, and enters with a counter for each time it was kicked. Astral Cornucopia costs XXX, produces any color of mana, and enters with X counters. They both tap to produce an amount of mana equal to the number of counters they have. They both perform well paired with the Proliferate mechanic. They also like cards such as Doubling Season and Malphis Revolutionary. At number 7, the Signets. There are 10 altogether, 1 for each color pair. For 2 mana, you get an artifact that can turn any 1 mana into the respective color pair. These can be great for mana ramp, but also filtering colorless mana into colored mana. It's rare for me to have a 2-color deck that doesn't include the matching Signet. At number 6, the Talismans. This set is very similar to the Signets. They also cost 2 and include each color pair. I like these better though, for a few reasons. Signets are worthless if you don't have a mana to activate them, whereas Talisman can tap for 1 mana at any time. You can tap for colorless for free, which is what I do most often, or you can tap for a colored mana and deal yourself a damage. In Commander, you start with 40 life, so 1 life isn't much of a penalty, especially to get the color you need at the time. At number 5, I have a 3-way tie between Patchwork Banner, Patriarch's Seal, and Vessel of Endless Rest. They all cost 3 mana and tap to produce any color of mana, and each one has an additional ability that warrants being ranked this high on the list. Patchwork Banner is an anthem, meaning it gives all creatures of the name type +1/+1. Patriarch's Seal allows a legendary creature to be untapped, potentially using an activated ability a second time. Vessel of Endless Rest puts a card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's deck. This can be used to get rid of a troublesome recurring creature, or to put a card that's essential to your game plan back into your deck. At number 4, Cultivator's Caravan. This card is right up my alley, and is why I rank it so high. I love versatile cards. This is a 3 casting cost mana rock early in the game, tapping for any color of mana. Then, when your mana situation is good, you can start crewing it, turning it into a 5/5 artifact creature. It's big enough to be a deterrent as a blocker. It lives through most creature mass removal spells because it's normally not a creature when such a spell is cast. However, the next turn after a Wrath of God, it can attack an opponent who just lost all of their blockers. Well, assuming you can play a creature to crew it. At number 3, Sol Ring. Okay, now I'm in trouble, and I get it. Sol Ring goes into every deck. How could it possibly be number 3? That's a good question. Let's move on and see if I can justify it. At number 2, Arcane Signet. Arcane Signet only costs 2, comes into play untapped, and can tap for any color. Now that this card is affordable, I put it into every multicolor deck I build. So why is it better than Sol Ring? Well, I'm not saying that it's more powerful than Sol Ring, but often I would much rather have reliable color fixing than the extra mana. And at number 1, wait for it, Chromatic Lantern. What? Okay, hear me out. Even though it costs 3, it does tap for any color of mana. I get it, so does Arcane Signet and a number of other artifacts in this list. But here's the hook. It lets all of your lands tap for any color of mana, including lands that tap for colorless mana, like Reliquary Tower, and lands that don't tap for mana at all, like Evolving Wilds. Well, that's my list, and I'm sticking to it. I do have an honorable mention, though. The crystals. These cost 3 and tap for wedge colors. Wedge colors are 3 colors consisting of 2 friendly colors, such as blue and white, with the third color being the common enemy color of the first 2, in this case red. What makes them usable is that they have cycling. This allows you to trade them in for another card when you draw one after your mana base is already solid. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was my generic list of favorite mana rocks, but it will certainly be different for each deck based on numerous factors. For instance, green has a lot of mana ramp spells, so a green deck may not run as many mana rocks, whereas a white deck may lean more heavily on them. A 5-color deck may not need them for ramp, but rather for color fixing. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also, if I missed any of your favorite artifacts or you disagree with my rankings, please let me know in the comments. If you feel like you learned anything from this video, or if you just enjoyed it, please help me out by hitting the like button and subscribing. Thank you.